Everybody knows I love to talk about horror films, crime shows, legal dramas, thrillers, and suspenses. Well, the other thing that I'm a huge fan of, believe it or not, I'm a fan of a number of animated films. Now, there's some that I've grown out of, but then there's others that I would go back and rewatch, and some of them I still do. And I will unapologetically and shamelessly say that Lion King, to this very day, and I've felt this way my entire life, literally since preschool, Lion King is my number one animated film of all time. Number one. No other animated film tops it. There are plenty of other movies that were also amazing, and they come close. Jungle Book, Land Before Time, Tarzan, there's a number of them. But Lion King is my number one. That's just that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no negotiation about that. Lion King is number one for me. And, of course, almost anybody knows, but Lion King came out in 94. They grossed, at the time, years ago, it was said to have grossed just over $950 million. Well, now, money has changed over the years, and so a lot of these numbers are updated. So now Lion King is just over 968 million. Now, I'll tell you what initially shocked me. What initially shocked me was in 2013, almost 20 years later, when Frozen came out, that ended up grossing over $1 billion. And the only thing that made me want to see it was just because of that. Just because it topped The Lion King. I said, well, if it topped Lion King, it's got to be that good. Because Lion King was objectively the highest grossing Disney film, up until that point. So now, with that being said, I'll tell you the next thing that shocked me. And I'm kind of still in shock about this. There are 11 animated films that have topped Lion King at the box office. 11. And by the way, 968 million, you got to think, for a cartoon movie that came out in the 90s to gross that much money, I mean, that's a new record. That's beyond insane, to say the least. So here are the 11 films that topped it. Now, it says of animated films of all time, the number one was the remake Lion King that came out, but it was more live action-y type. That was 1.6 billion. But take that out the way. Let's look at the computer animated ones, because that's mostly what I'm referring to here. So you have, I'm sorry, did I say 11? I messed up in this video. Did I say 11? Okay, it was 12. It's 11, but you take away the top Lion King movie from 1.6 billion. So that leaves 11. Okay, so I did kind of have that right. Sorry for the confusion. You have Despicable Me 2 that grossed over 970 million. And I saw that and I thought that was all right. Zootopia, over 1 billion. Didn't see that yet. Once I watch it, I'll let you guys know what I think of it. Finding Dory, over 1 billion. That was pretty good. Finding Nemo was still better, but Finding Dory was good. I might consider maybe watching that again eventually. Finding Nemo I've seen dozens of times. Despicable Me 3, also over 1 billion. That was pretty all right. Toy Story 3, over 1 billion. Toy Story 4, over 1 billion. I didn't see the third and fourth yet. Once I watch it, I'll let you know. Minions, also didn't see that. Over 1.1 billion. Incredibles 2, over 1.2 billion. Now, I was surprised about that because I think the first Incredibles movie got over around 500-600 million, and I was actually kind of surprised. That was even more than I thought then. And I saw Incredibles 2 in theaters because I'm a huge fan of The Incredibles. I'll still watch that. The first movie gets a perfect 10. The second movie gets at least a 9.5, if not a perfect 10. And then we get to Frozen. As I stated earlier, they got over 1.2 billion. And then Super Mario Bros. Over 1.3 billion. I've covered that in another video. That was actually a lot more than I thought they would get to. It was actually a pretty well done film. I thought I gave that movie I had to have given it about a 7, if I remember correctly. I think their budget was $100 million, so 1.3 billion box office over that. I mean, they made an insane amount of money off of that, so really good job for them. And then the number one for computer animated films of all time for the box office, with a budget of $150 million and a box office of $1.45 billion. Frozen 2, which I had also seen, and it was pretty all right. It was pretty good. From what I remember of that, I would have to give that one about a 7 or 8. Maybe the first film was somewhat slightly around the edges a little better, but I think it's a decent film for the kids and the family to enjoy. So this surprises me right here, that all these movies topped Lion King. Like, that's my movie right there. They buried my movie, essentially. Now, you have some other movies that grossed almost as much as Lion King. You know, I see like Minions, Rise of Gru. I think that's how you pronounce that name. Then you had Finding Nemo, which was $940 million. Shrek 2, which was $928 million. You had a couple of the Ice Age movies, and Shrek the Third, Inside Out, Shrek Forever After, Madagascar 3. Which Madagascar 3 actually got a lot more than I thought they would get to. I would guess they were probably around 200 or 300 million, maybe 400 million if they were lucky. They got over 700 million. Over 746 million to be exact. Monsters University, I saw that one. That was really good. So, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Now, if I had to take Lion King, Jungle Book, and Land Before Time out the equation, and Tarzan, and I would look at the other computer animated films that are my top favorite, I would say, if I had to pick my personal top 5, and it's not necessarily in this order, I would say Shrek, Incredibles, Madagascar, Shark Tale, Ice Age. Like, those will be my next favorite ones after Land Before Time, Jungle Book, Land Before Time. I'm sorry, Land Before Time, Jungle Book, Lion King. So, you tell me, what do you think about this? What would you say are your top 5 or 10 if you have that many? I mean, I guess top 5, 10, whatever. What are some of your favorite animated films? Let me know in the comment section. Like and subscribe.